All right, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of School Live episode 11, Scar. In this episode, this episode was so freaking intense, and it looks like Yuki has finally come to terms with life and what is going on around her. It took all of this happening, like Kurumi being bitten and turning into a zombie, or Miki almost dying. Her coming into contact with the zombie is what's finally snapped her out of it, at least for the most part. So this whole episode, Yuki looks like she's about to turn the fuck up, and hopefully she is about to save everybody, because it's not looking good for anybody right now. Because Miki and Yuki locked themselves in a room. Yuri is still in the room with Kurumi, so Kurumi is turning and is getting a lot more intense now. It doesn't look like it's looking too good for Kurumi right now. And Yuri made a promise, like they had a whole flashback about like when they found Miki at the mall, and Kurumi told Yuri that if anything were to ever happen to her, like if she would ever get bitten or turn, to kill her immediately. Don't hesitate or anything, because that's just gonna make it worse. And Yuri said that she was going to, but when the time came, she couldn't, which I completely understand. I mean, her and Kurumi had been pretty freaking close. They were the ones that were pretty much holding the group together. So I see why she wouldn't be able to kill her. I mean, because there's still a possibility that Kurumi could be saved if Miki could get the medicine. That's all the way down in the basement of the school where Megu-nee is. So, like, while this is happening, Miki decided that she has to go downstairs and get the stuff, because if they don't, they're pretty much screwed. Like, the zombies have flooded the rest of the school. They broke down all the barriers that they put up, so they're roaming around the school. They got all the way upstairs. They burned the crops. They messed up the power. The water supply is probably messed up too, so they really don't have any choice to be sitting around right now. So Miki went downstairs. She had to kill Megu-nee, which really freaking sucked. But I think it was for the best, because Yuki didn't even really know Megu-nee like that. So she was probably the only one who was ever going to be able to bring herself to kill her, even though she knows who she is now. But she actually, like, she killed Megu-nee after she did this whole speech about being part of the school living club, and Kurumi and Yuki and Yuri all working together and finding her, and them all working together to have some type of life outside of just running and being scared. So, like I said, Miki had to kill her. She did go into the room where Megu-nee was, and it turns out she saw the book, and it said like Yuki, Yuri, and Kurumi, and it said live. So she was telling them to live. She wrote that as she was turning, which really freaking sucks. It makes me so sad thinking about it. But she wrote that as she was turning. So she was telling them that they need to live on, and Miki was able to find the box that had all of the medicine and everything in it. So she got the medicine, and she got a few other things out, and she was carrying it out when zombies just started flooding the room. They were coming in from doors, so Miki hurried up and ran into a room. Like, when she opened the door, I've noticed this, she opened the door and Toromaru ran out, but he looked like he was normal. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but Toromaru looked like he was fine. Like, he looked like he was normal. But she ran in the room and tried to barricade the door, and like while all this is happening, she was thinking about, like, this is just like the room that I was in with Kay, and am I just destined to end up dying in a room all alone by myself, blah blah blah. And like while all this is happening, like Yuri is contemplating killing Kurumi, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. And then it was just a whole bunch of stuff. Like, this episode was so freaking intense. I was not prepared for the intensity of this episode. So and while all this is happening, Yuki decided that she has to go and do something, because if she just keeps standing around pretending like nothing is going on, then she's going to lose all of her friends. So Yuki got up and decided to go. She was still talking to Megu-nee while this is happening. She went downstairs. She was following Megu-nee's voice, and she had a flashback of, I guess, when it, like, around the time when it first happened, and when Megu-nee was still fine, and they were like barricading the halls, and Yuki was like, there's nothing I can do, blah blah blah, and Megu-nee, of course, was there to cheer her up. So Megu-nee has always been that supporting factor for Yuki. She's the one who helped Yuki be the way that she was before all of this, before this particular happened. And Yuki is finally beginning to let her go. So she's headed towards the broadcasting room, so I'm guessing she's going to try to like talk or something, or lure the zombies away from everyone to herself so she can save them. Hopefully she doesn't sacrifice herself, because that would pretty freaking suck. I would be very sad. But this episode was so freaking intense. I wasn't prepared for the intensity. So yeah, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turned out? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that Yuki finally let go of Megu-nee when she said bye bye Megu-nee? Do you think that she's finally back to her senses and she's actually going to be able to be helped to them? I don't know. So yeah, so as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.